I'm really proud of is completing my first half marathon. I did it about a year ago, and it was something I never imagined myself doing because I wasn't very athletic before. I started training about 3 months earlier. At first, I could only run for a few minutes without stopping, so I followed a beginner-friendly running plan one found online. I ran 3 or 4 times a week, slowly increasing my distance. Some days were really tough, especially when I felt tired or the weather was bad, but I tried to stay consistent. The actual race was challenging. Around the halfway point, I felt exhausted and almost wanted to quit. But the crowd cheering and the other runners motivated me to keep going. When I finally crossed the finish line, I felt a huge mix of relief, excitement, and pride. Even though my time wasn't very fast, simply completing the race was a big accomplishment for me. I'm proud of this achievement because it showed me that I can push myself beyond my comfort zone. It also helped me become more disciplined and confident. Finishing the half marathon made me believe that with enough effort and consistency, I can achieve goals that once seemed impossible. Month. I had always wanted to develop this habit because I felt my mornings were rushed and unproductive. Whenever I woke up late, I would spend the whole day feeling behind schedule, which affected both my mood and my work. To achieve this goal, I made a very simple but realistic plan. First, I started going to bed earlier by reducing my screen time at night. I also set a consistent alarm for 6 a.m. and placed my phone across the room so that I had to physically get out of bed to turn it off. Another strategy that helped was preparing a small morning ritual I actually enjoyed, like stretching for 5 minutes and making a cup of coffee while listening to soft music. Honestly, the first week was the hardest. I felt sleepy and tempted to go back to bed. But after about 10 days, my body started adjusting, and I noticed that I had more energy during the day. Over time, waking up early became much more natural and even enjoyable. When I completed the full month, I felt really proud of myself. It wasn't a huge goal, but it required discipline and consistency. Achieving it made me realize that small daily habits can make a big difference. It also gave me confidence to set and achieve bigger goals in the future. Speaking skills so I could feel more confident during university presentations. At that time, I was quite shy and often froze when speaking in front of a group. My goal was to deliver a full presentation without feeling nervous or forgetting what to say. The biggest challenge I faced was my lack of confidence. Every time I practiced, I felt embarrassed about my pronunciation and worried that people would judge my mistakes. Because of this, I avoided speaking as much as possible, which only made the problem worse. To overcome this, I created a small routine for myself. First, I started practicing alone by recording my voice and listening back to identify weak points. Then, I joined a small study group where we practiced speaking every week. It was uncomfortable at first, but the group was supportive, and they encouraged me to keep trying. I also watched YouTube videos of public speaking tips and shadowed native speakers to improve my fluency. After a few months, I finally gave a class presentation and delivered it without freezing. I wasn't perfect, but I spoke clearly and confidently. That moment felt like a huge achievement. I felt incredibly proud of myself because I realized that confidence is something you can build through effort and consistency.
Chinh phục mọi không gian với giường sofa gấp gọn.
Overcoming that challenge didn't just help me reach my goal. It also made me more willing to face other challenges in life. Skills can open up many opportunities, especially in education and career development. At the moment, I'm taking several steps to achieve this goal. I practice speaking every day, even if it's only for a short time. I also watch English videos and listen to podcasts to improve my listening skills and learn natural expressions. In addition, I keep a vocabulary notebook where I write down new words and review them regularly. Whenever possible, I try to use English in real life situations, such as participating in discussions or practicing with friends. Of course, there are moments when progress feels slow, and that can be frustrating. However, I remind myself that language learning is a long term process and that consistency matters more than speed. Each small improvement keeps me motivated. I feel both challenged and excited about this goal. It gives me a clear sense of direction, and achieving it would boost my confidence and allow me to connect with people from different cultures more easily. Preparing for an important university entrance exam. Her goal was to get into her first choice program, but she was feeling overwhelmed and lacked confidence, especially in mathematics. I helped her by creating a simple study plan and studying with her a few evenings each week. Instead of just giving her answers, I focused on explaining the concept step by step and encouraging her to solve the problems on her own. I also shared some exam strategies, such as managing time effectively and staying calm during difficult questions. Whenever she felt discouraged, I reminded her of her progress and motivated her to keep going. Over time, her confidence improved, and she became more consistent with her studies. A few months later, she told me that she had passed the exam and was accepted into the program she wanted. Hearing that news made me incredibly happy. I felt proud and satisfied because I realized that my support had made a real difference. Helping someone achieve their goal was just as rewarding as reaching my own, and it strengthened our friendship as well.